Alright, welcome back. So you see I changed a little bit of the color of the anaglyph. It's just to make it clearer if your glasses just to see different issues that will rise. So last time we kinda set the depth buffer near plane adjustment to be locked, basically. Um in this one we're gonna cover pop out like this and controlling it so where it doesn't cause too many issues in the scene. So let's just rotate the camera now, and in this case, we're going to see the edges right there, and you see how it starts to artifact. Let's adjust that first before anything. And the thing is, the option that we're going to look for is called the pop out target. You can read everything has its information in there you can read, but basically, this is a semi-automated anti-distortion option. Zero's off, but if you set it to a value higher, you can see how it starts to fix this issue right here, where the pop out artifacts go away. Keep in mind that this does cost performance. You can see them are down to 128, 127 from 130, and if it's off, it's like 130, 131. It's not too much, 135, but it's automated. So if you set it to one, you move away from the wall, right? Let's enable the reshake thing. You see, it should reduce. Well, that FPS number should, if we move away from having pop out at all, that value should increase. But also remember that in the game, it also has its own calling. Even though we're close to the wall, it shouldn't do that. But let's turn that off. See, be 120, 119. If you increase it to 1, be 115, 117. A little bit of a drop, not too much, but the more pop out there is, the more it's going to increase in strength automatically. Even though we're getting more frame rate right here, it's hard to show in this game because a lot of games do have their own calling, and we're calling a big chunk of what's behind this being rendered. Well, it's being rendered, but the things that are behind it, most of them are called out of the way. All right, so I mean, you can adjust this a little bit, a lot, but I'm gonna set it to one in this game just in case something in the future tries to pop out. But that's fine. All right, so we have pop out enabled. Uh, it does cost a little bit of performance. You want to be kind of judicious with it. In my case, I'll probably set it to 1.75. Actually, 1.5 would probably be good too. It doesn't activate as strong, but it should be enough to overcome that issue, especially with the other things we're going to enable now. So we're going to set that to 0.75. All right. Let's talk about you see in this type of 3D method, we do have some control over how things in the distance are rendered as compared to the foreground. Um, One thing to do is adjust this value from 0 to 5, and it'll give you a little bit more definition, more pop out even in the foreground right here. She seems to be like more has more definition. It's more of a precision kind of adjustment, and it's automated depending on what's in the scene. If you look out in the distance away from this character later in the game, it will automatically adjust itself to become stronger. So, but setting it to half its value in this case seems to be fine. In the cases you don't want to set this any lower, I mean, any higher is when warping starts to happen in the scene. It's not visible in here, and I don't think there is any warping actually at all in this case. But in some games, depending how it's linearized, it will cause warping, and the automated feature is not as good. In those cases, you want to actually lower it to something lower to where the warp is not visible. In this case, we're going to set to 0.5. You see, sometimes I'll be 0.25 because sometimes I see a little bit of warping, and that's undesirable. In this case, we're going to set to 0.5 or either actually 0.375 would be looks nice to me. Other things you can do, there's a boost range option. That's the offset base. Ignore that one. That's more of a pro user kind of thing. Don't. In reality, no one's really supposed to use these options unless there's something particularly really wrong in the scene. Most of the time, don't use it. But there are the automated features here. If we do 4x, which is the max one, you see how everything kind of becomes more defined, but it's more prone to warping. So in this case, we're going to set it to not 1x is too weak, 2x seems to be about right, and 3x seems to be okay. Actually, maybe this game is particular. Maybe 4x will be fine. Game. You turn it off quickly, you can see the difference on end. I'm gonna set it to 3. No, actually, I don't like 3. So I'm gonna set it to 2. I think 2 is the best in this. But you really have to be seeing the scene in 3D. A note to users that are using auto stereoscopic screens. This is going to be harder in your screen to do unless you have the anti-glare glasses. But if you are using it, uh, you may want to do it once it's already weaved. Problem is going to happen is that this menu here is not going to be duplicated for the left and right eye, and that's going to cause issues when viewing this scene, or actually not viewing the scene, but viewing this menu. You have to close one eye. Not ideal. And that's going to make it a lot harder, and that's going to be the biggest time sink. If you are working at a company that has that, make sure you sterilize this menu only when you're debugging. I know how you're going to have your own menu for the users. This is just for making your profile, not for the custom version of the shader that you have. All right. So this looks fine to me how it is. But now let's talk about the auto director. I'm gonna pause this video and we're gonna head over to the next video.